We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Nipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer unveils 4-point plan to reach peace and defend Ukraine in the London summit as European leaders close ranks to spend more on security. Volodymyr Zelenskyy says Ukraine remains ready to sign minerals deal with US after White House met. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair the National Board for Wildlife meet in Gujarat's Gir National Park on World Wildlife Day. The 97th Academy Awards ceremony underway at the Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles. The brutalist conclave Anora among many to vie for the top honors. And in sports, India beats New Zealand to set up semi-final clash against Australia. Kiwis to face South Africa in second semi-final of Champions Trophy 2025. On to the top story now. France and Britain are proposing a partial one-month truce between Russia and Ukraine that would not cover ground fighting. However, the truce would cover air, sea and energy infrastructure attacks. Also, the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced a 4-point plan to work with Ukraine to end the conflict and defend the country from Russia. UK Prime Minister did not state which countries had agreed to join this coalition of the willing, but said that those who had committed would intensify planning with real urgency. He said UK would back its commitment with boots on the ground and planes in the air.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace.
While speaking at a news conference, Starmer also announced an additional $2 billion of UK export finance to buy more than 5,000 air defence missiles. This comes on top of a £2.2 billion loan to provide more military aid to Ukraine backed by profits from frozen Russian assets.
And today I'm announcing a new deal which allows Ukraine to use £1.6 billion of UK export finance to buy more than 5,000 air defence missiles, which will be made in Belfast, creating jobs in our brilliant defence sector. This will be vital for protecting critical infrastructure now and strengthening Ukraine in securing the peace when it comes.
Well, the summit of 18 leaders showed European unity at an extremely high level not seen for a long time. It comes 2 days after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's White House meeting with US President Donald Trump ended in acrimony. World leaders have offered a strong show of support to the Ukrainian leader and promised to do more to help his nation. Well, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has reaffirmed his commitment to signing a minerals deal with the US despite a heated exchange with President Donald Trump on Friday. The deal, aimed at jointly exploiting Ukraine's mineral resources, is part of a post-war recovery plan. However, Trump berated Zelenskyy, demanding more gratitude for US support in the conflict. The meeting ended abruptly with the deal left unsigned. Despite this, Zelenskyy remains willing to sign the agreement. Ukraine's allies, including the UK and France, have rallied around Zelenskyy, pledging to support Ukraine's security and proposing a partial truce with Russia.
Regardless of what happened earlier, despite everything, we remain constructive. We thought that the mineral agreement would be signed. On our side, we are ready to sign. Honestly, I think the US will be ready as well. Probably some time is needed to analyze certain things. I just wanted Ukraine's position to be heard.
Meanwhile, Zelenskyy, while talking to reporters after the summit with European leaders in London on Sunday, said that he believed he could salvage his relationship with US President Donald Trump after their explosive meeting in the Oval House, but that talks needed to continue behind closed doors.
I think our relations with the US will continue because this is more than the relations during a certain moment. We must be open. Ukraine is not the biggest country in the world, but everyone can see how it fights for its independence and freedom. We count on assistance from the United States of America without a doubt. I think stopping such assistance will only help Putin, and because of that, I think that the United States and representatives of the civilized world, leaders of this world, definitely won't help Putin.
Well, Russian lawmakers have scorned the London summit of European leaders, claiming it yielded no viable plan to end the Ukraine conflict. Konstantin Kosachev, head of the Foreign Affairs Committee, derided the meeting as a desperate attempt to salvage a decade-long policy. He asserted that Ukraine's sole hope lies in improved Russian-US relations. Leonid Slutsky, chairman of the lower house's International Affairs Committee, echoed this sentiment, predicting the summit would not salvage Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky's position after his tense Washington talks. Well, also former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev dismissed the summit, labeling it a shameful sight. Also, after the meeting of European countries on Ukraine in London on Sunday, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said European countries are convinced of the need to ramp up defense spending and increase aid to Ukraine.
Everyone is convinced that the Europe has to take on more responsibility and start bearing the burdens associated with building a defense industry, increased aid for Ukraine during the war, and greater spending with NATO on their defense budgets. We are also looking towards March 6 with caution but hope.
While German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said a focus for Ukrainian allies will be to ensure that Kyiv has a strong army when the war is over so that it can defend itself against any future aggression.
The important thing is that everyone here has clearly reaffirmed that they want to support Ukraine. Russia's aim has always been to establish a government in Ukraine that dances to Russia's tune. That cannot be accepted. Ukraine is a European country that has decided it wants to join the European Union, a democratic and sovereign nation that must remain so.
Well, also, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni stressed the need for unity within NATO and the West, warning against divisions after meeting with Zelenskyy.
We had a broad and frank discussion on how to ensure this common goal, how to promote unity, and more importantly, how to prevent divisions within the Atlantic Alliance and the West. It seems to me that there is broad consensus on this. Various proposals are on the table, and I believe that anyone putting forward a proposal at this moment is making a useful contribution.
Well, Zelenskyy also met with King Charles III in the Sandringham estate in eastern England after attending the London summit. Both were seen shaking hands with each other in the pictures. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will meet with King Charles III on Monday to discuss defending Canada's sovereignty amid President Donald Trump's repeated calls for Canada to become the 51st U.S. state. Trudeau said he hopes to discuss matters of importance to Canada and to Canadians. And U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, in a Sunday Fox News interview, confirmed that tariffs on Canada and Mexico will take effect this Tuesday. The final decision on their exact levels, however, rests with President Donald Trump. Initially set at 25%, the tariffs could be adjusted at the last moment. Trump is poised to escalate tariffs on China from 10% to 20%, a move tied directly to Beijing's action or inaction on curbing the deadly drugs flow into the U.S.
They have done a lot. So he's sort of thinking about right now how exactly he wants to play it with Mexico and Canada, and that is a fluid situation. There are going to be tariffs on Tuesday on Mexico and Canada. Exactly what they are, we're going to leave that for the president and his team to negotiate. And obviously, I'm talking to him all the time to discuss what that's going to be on Tuesday.
Well, wildfires erupted across South Carolina on Sunday, leading Governor Henry McMaster to issue a state of emergency. Local reports indicated that nearly 4,000 acres had been scorched in almost 200 separate fires. An aerial image of a wildfire was shared on social media on Sunday. The South Carolina Forestry Commission stated that most of the fires have been contained or brought under control, with no injuries reported. Also, a statewide burning ban that prohibits all outdoor burning remains in effect. And now let's take a look at other stories making news across the globe today. MagicCon, the world's largest mermaid convention, was held in Silver Spring, Maryland. The three-day event offered various activities, including classes, panels and specialty programs. Attendees could choose from different ticket options such as the Participant Pass, Observer Pass and Guppy tickets for children under 3 years old. The traditional Ukrainian festival of Masnitsitsia, marking the end of winter and arrival of spring, is being celebrated at the National Museum of Folk Architecture and Life of Ukraine. The week-long festivities include traditional games, food and the symbolic burning of the Diduk sheaf, representing prosperity and the connection between generations. Samba schools paraded annual carnival in an event filled with glitter, music and dancing at Rio's Sambadrome. The parade competition is one of the top attractions of the annual carnival celebrations that sweep the city every year, and each Samba school is made up of a regiment of dancers and drummers. The Samba schools compete in Rio's enormous and elaborate yearly carnival parade, often referred to as the best show on earth. And still to come in this edition of DT India Live. India leads the global conservation efforts on World Wildlife Day, set to inspire future generations. Indian Army concludes rescue operations in Uttarakhand. 46 Border Roads Organization workers saved, 8 lives lost. And Yuki Bambri and Alexei Popyrin clinched double title at Dubai Tennis Championship in thrilling final.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair a high-level meeting of the National Board for Wildlife at Sasan to discuss national-level issues related to wildlife. This board functions for the promotion of conservation and development of wildlife and forest. The Prime Minister is the chairman of the board. The members include representatives from various states, NGOs and wildlife experts. This meeting will focus on strengthening policies for wildlife conservation. And today is World Wildlife Day, a day to celebrate the rich biodiversity of our planet and reaffirm our commitment to conservation. India has been at the forefront of global conservation efforts. Under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the country has taken several transformative initiatives and set a global benchmark in wildlife conservation. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya has more.
March 3rd, World Wildlife Day, a day to celebrate the rich biodiversity of our planet and reaffirm our commitment to conservation. This year's theme, Wildlife Conservation Finance, Investing in People and Planet, highlights the vital role of sustainable funding in protecting our natural heritage. India, home to unparalleled biodiversity, has been at the forefront of global conservation efforts. Under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, transformative initiatives like Project Lion, Project Tiger and Project Dolphin are shaping the future of wildlife conservation. Kyiv, the abode of the Asiatic lion, has witnessed a remarkable increase in lion numbers from 523 in 2015 to 674 in 2020. With new weed guards, rapid response rescue vehicles and habitat protection measures, India is ensuring that lions and local communities coexist harmoniously. The expansion of Barda Wildlife Sanctuary as a second home for lions marks a new chapter in sustainable conservation. From 11,000 machans to protect crops to 55,000 parapet walls around open wells, every step is designed to safeguard both wildlife and people. Even railway safety protocols have been strengthened to prevent tragic lion accidents. With cutting-edge technology, veterinary care, and sustainable ecotourism, India is setting global benchmarks in conservation.
As we celebrate World Wildlife Day, let's pledge to protect our planet, preserve our wildlife, and invest in a sustainable future. Because when nature thrives, we all thrive. With camera person Naveen, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from the Gir National Park in Gujarat.
Well, moving on, India under Prime Minister Modi's leadership leads in wildlife conservation. From 3,682 tigers to 675 Asiatic lions, India's efforts are setting global benchmarks. Community participation and key projects like Project Snow Leopard ensure a thriving ecosystem. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya reports for more.
India, with just 2.4% of the world's land, is a biodiversity powerhouse, contributing 8% of global biodiversity. Rooted in a culture of conservation, India under Prime Minister Modi's leadership has achieved a remarkable milestone in protecting its wildlife. Home to world's largest tiger population, India now boasts of 3,682 tigers with 57 tiger reserves safeguarding their future. The Asiatic elephant thrives here too, with around 30,000 elephants roaming its forests. India also sheltered the largest population of one-horned rhinoceros, numbering 3,000, and is the only country where the Asiatic lions, whose number have risen from 525 in 2015 to 675 in 2020. The Indian leopard's population has also seen a 75% surge, reaching 13,874 in 2022. Even the reintroduction of cheetahs has been hailed as a conservation triumph. Projects like Crocodile Conservation Initiative have rescued its population of gharials and other crocodiles. Meanwhile, Project Snow Leopard protects the elusive snow leopards with an estimation of 718 in the wild. Local communities are unsung heroes of India's conservation stories. Their efforts in shielding endangered species, monitoring wildlife have been pivotal to their success. India's wildlife conservation journey is a testament to the power of culture, community, and commitment. Together, they ensure that these majestic creatures continue to thrive for generations to come. With camera-person Shiv Suman, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Gir National Forest in Gujarat.
And the Indian Army concluded the search and rescue operations at the Mana area of Chamoli district in North India's Uttarakhand on Sunday. These operations were part of the relief efforts to rescue the trapped border road organisation workers after the avalanche on February 28th. In the operation, 46 workers were rescued successfully and are currently being given the necessary medical treatment. The Army said that 8 lives could not be saved despite relentless efforts by the rescue team. The Indian Army also extended condolences to the bereaved families of those who lost their lives in this tragedy. And news now from the world of entertainment. Hollywood has come together to celebrate the most anticipated event of the year as the 97th Academy Awards has begun to honor the finest achievements in cinema. American television star Conan O'Brien, who is this year's Oscars host, nominees and Hollywood A-listers take to the red carpet with joint favourites Anora and Conclave, seemingly poised for a showdown for the Best Picture prize. The competition seems tough this year. In one of his monologues, host O'Brien said that the awards are being watched 1 billion people worldwide. And the ceremony kick-started with Kieran Culkin winning the Best Supporting Actor for the film A Real Pain. In the animation categories, Flo won for the Best Animated Feature, earning Latvia its first Academy Award. Meanwhile, In the Shadow of the Cypress won for the Best Animated Shot in the Writing Awards. Anora, which won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, earned director Sean Baker an Oscar for the Best Original Screenplay. Baker also won for Best Film Editing. Meanwhile, Peter Strogan won for his adapted screenplay for Conclave. And on to some sports news now. India defeated New Zealand by 44 runs in their final Group A match on Sunday to set up semi-finals clash with Australia in the Champions Trophy 2025. Chasing 250, New Zealand's strong batting lineup struggled against India's spin-heavy attack. Only Kane Williamson scored 81 runs, playing a well-calculated innings. Captain Mitchell Santa also played some big shots, but he perished while trying to accelerate the run rate. Spinner Varun Chakrabarti spearheaded India's bowling attack with a sensational 5-wicket haul. Earlier, Shreyas Iyer led a resilient knock under pressure with 79 runs as India put up to 49 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. The men in blue will look forward to the rematch of 2023 ODI World Cup final against Australia, rooting for a different result this time. Kiwis, meanwhile, will take on South Africa in the second semi-final on Wednesday. And in tennis, India's Yuki Bhambri and Australian Alexei Popyrin won the double title at the Dubai Tennis Championship after a stunning giant-killing spree. Bhambri and Popyrin edged out Finland's Harri Halivaara and Great Britain's Henry Patton 3-6, 7-6, 10-8 in the finals. This was Bhambri's 4th ATP Tour double title, but the first ATP 500 one. His previous all 3 came in the 250 level. For Popyrin, this was his first ATP Tour double final at any level. The Australian player, however, has won 3 single titles in his career, including the Canada Open Masters 1000. Well, vibrant colours and infectious rhythms fill the streets of Brazil as revelers celebrated a Krishna-inspired carnival. The festival event drew inspiration from Hindu mythology and culture, showcasing India's rich cultural diversity. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Well, let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Kurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.